What's up, everybody? It's Barnaboss here. I'm here with Mr. Dimples himself and Quagsire Collectibles.
Whoa.
This new series we're going to be doing called Double Feature Horror Review, where we're going to be watching horror movies in our Discord, all the cheesy, terrible stuff that I love so much. Maybe other movies. We'll talk about it. But we want to watch those movies, come in here, break them down for you guys, and then give kind of our points of view on them. Kind of show off movies that you guys might not know about. And for the first one, I picked one of my favorite horror movies, which is Frankenhooker, and then another horror movie that I own but these guys didn't know about, which was called Murder Party.
Well, I knew about it. I always just kind of like passed by it because
I had no idea about it, but now I love it because it reminds me of people, which we'll talk about later.
I actually I bought it at FYE, believe it or not. Just going through their cheap bin of horror movies, and I bought it for like a couple bucks, and I was like, this looks okay. And I put it on and I loved it. So
that's right.
But let's start with Frankenhooker, one of my favorite movies. I actually found out about this movie going to a horror con that I'm going to again this year called Creature Feature. They did a live Q&A during this movie, and the whole cast was there, so it was kind of cool. I didn't know how dope it was when I went, so I fortunately didn't get any signatures or anything. But it's a great movie.
He forced it to save us.
Yes. The movie starts out really weird with the guy like sitting at the table tinkering with his weird brain with an eyeball.
Dude, that brain is the goat, though.
Did they ever explain that in the movie?
They don't explain it. I think it's a way for them to tell you like he's an electrician, and like they talk about how he's kicked out of medical schools and stuff because of his bizarre takes on things.
And it's not a figment of his imagination because his mother, halfway through the movie, acknowledges the brain. So it's really there.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
His mother-in-law like acknowledges it. Yeah, it's very weird. It's set like in the beginning, you're set at like this birthday party for his girlfriend's dad. And they introduce his girlfriend, who I guess has seeing her father this lawnmower that he had programmed, and she's like playing with the controller, showing off how it works, but she's standing right in front of it, and he's screaming, "Don't stand in front of it!" And then all of a sudden it runs her over, and there's body parts everywhere. Real good time.
I'm gonna say it again about that picture, though. If you can bring it back up for a second. That hat is superimposed, and where the hell did that deer come from? Because that's superimposed too. Are you adding stuff to the image, man?
No, that's that was in the movie.
I don't remember the deer either, honestly.
I think it's just like a weird lawn ornament that's like sitting there.
So actually, looking at it, I don't think the hat is superimposed.
Yeah, it's just a weird angle. I don't know.
Like you can see the string going down on the side and like over his ear a little bit, so I don't think it's superimposed.
But that deer, though,
is
But yeah, you find out, and then it cuts to like him being all depressed and alone at his mother's house, and he's watching this weird newscast about what happened at the thing, and they're talking about body parts being missing, and it's just really weird how they talk about everything. And then it cuts to him trying to figure out some like electrician stuff doing over this picture of a body. And then he goes out to the garage and he proceeds to have dinner with the head and a few body parts that he did claim, I guess, of his betrothed, I guess.
That he keeps alive and well in a collagen infused tank of some sort.
Yeah. It's like a isn't it a cooler? It's like a freezer. It's like a with some weird estrogen fluid in it, and
super pink.
he's sitting over this thing trying to figure out mathematically how to like bring her back. And there's a part where he takes like a drill bit and he puts it in a drill, and he like drills into his own head.
I never understood that. Like,
very
times too.
Yeah, there's no blood or anything. It's so weird. Great, but then he gets this great idea that he's going to kill women for their parts to rebuild his girl. And he figures the best place to find these women is to find some prostitutes.
Wasn't it in New Jersey too?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was from Jersey. I think he went to New York. Or no, he's from New York and he went to Jersey.
Yeah, that was it.
The best part though is he's figuring out how he's going to kill them, and that happens after he goes and he meets the prostitutes, and he says that he wants a few of the girls and he wants to check them out, and then you get introduced to their pimp named Zorro, I believe.
Yep. He's a weird one.
Yeah, very weird. But they set up like this party, I guess, where he's gonna like inspect the girls, and like in the interim before he goes to this thing, he's again in his room and he's talking to himself and he does the drill thing, and he's like, these girls, they're a detriment. They're hooked on drugs. They're probably gonna kill themselves anyway. So he devises this super crack that will kill them.
But not just kill them. They explode them.
Yeah, we'll get there.
That's great.
But yeah, then he goes in this hotel room with all these girls, lots of nudity, lots of horror cheese, and then he's like checking all the body parts and stuff, and making weird comments about it, and then the girls get frustrated and get impatient. And they start like pushing him around, and they find the super crack, and then they start doing the super crack, which causes them to shake and then explode into weird fireworks and like body parts.
Shenanigans.
And then at the end, Zorro comes in, and there's a head that flies across the room and like bops him in the head and knocks him out.
I think it's actually the girl you have on screen where her head flies into Zorro.
It might have been. But then he ends up taking the body parts home, rebuilding his girlfriend into, I don't have a picture of her. Can't believe I didn't pull one of her, but the girl from the cover.
She's on the cover.
The girl from the cover. He rebuilds his girlfriend, and it's the whole Frankenstein lightning and all kinds of craziness. And then she ends up getting up and like pushing him over, and she keeps quoting like all the things the hookers had said to him. And she makes this weird face, and she ends up going back out on the streets where the hookers were. Yeah. Go ahead, Flipsy. Go ahead. Wait, that's really good. We gotta make you really big for this. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yep. But yeah, she ends up going back out on the streets and picks up this really like short, wiry guy with glasses, and takes him to a room and ends up, I think, blowing him up with her hands or some weird.
No, that wasn't her hands, but that was some rogue.
Yeah, they do some stuff.
I
think she puts her hands on his face though, and that's.
Yeah, but that's not from.
No, I'm sure it's not, but
you gotta watch the movie.
But then, long story short, he reclaims her, brings her back to his house again. Zorro ends up showing up at the house. There's a weird fight that ensues that includes body parts coming back to life from the walk-in cooler thing because he claimed the other hookers' parts too.
Yeah, that was some Cronenberg shit right there too.
Yeah, very Cronenberg monsters, but like just like titties and girl heads.
Yeah,
it's weird.
The spider thing was my favorite out of all of it.
And I believe he dies. How does he die? Does Frankenhooker kill him? Shock him?
No, I think it's the pimp that kills him, right?
No,
Yeah.
the pimp cuts
Pimp
off
kills
the main
him,
character's
she
head,
kills-
Yeah.
She kills the
and then she
pimp.
kills him.
And then she brings him back with.
And then it cuts to the very end, which is probably one of the best scenes in the movie, minus
That
the
was a bait
crack
and
scene,
switch, bro. Bait and switch.
where he wakes up and you can see his neck is stitched, and then it pans down and he has a giant pair of breasts, and he also has a female body, and it just ends with him going, "What did you do to my body?"
She's all like, "It's the only way I can make it."
Also, there's a spoiler alert. Way too late for that, I realize, but
we're bad at our jobs.
Yeah, we even talked about saying it, but
Well, we said what we were doing at the beginning, so
yeah. So if you watch till now and we've ruined this movie for you, at least it was this one and not like something important.
But still, go watch it. It's fucking fresh.
Go watch the movie. We
it.
can't do justice to what the movie has for you.
Yeah,
it's so good.
You have to see the super crack scene, if anything. Like, go on YouTube and look up super crack Frankenhooker, and if that scene doesn't make you want to watch the movie, then
we don't know what's wrong with you.
Right.
Find an adult.
But yeah, this is a Frank Henenlotter movie. I love this guy. He's done a bunch of different weird movies. He's the guy who wrote all the Basket Case movies. He also, I believe, did Street Trash.
Yeah, he did
Street Trash. If I'm wrong. And there's another one. It's just off the top of my head. I can't think of. But yeah, I love Frank Henenlotter. Such a weird set of movies, and he's just one of my idols. So
I love him now after seeing Frankenhooker.
Yeah, I know you're not a huge fan of Basket Case.
And the Basket Case is just fucking weird to me, man. Like, beyond the level of comfortable weird.
All right.
It's just fucking odd.
But let's shift gears. Let's go to the I want to say a little bit more serious of the two movies, even though it's not at all. It's not. It's not at all. And again, there is a spoiler warning. And this is Murder Party. Again, I found
okay. Real quick, I gotta say it.
Say it.
Anybody that knows us, Bartle, I gotta say it.
Say it. Go for it.
Anybody that knows us and knows anybody that comes onto this show as cameos or whatever, we know someone that's been in the YouTube world for a long time in the Juggalo culture. Look at that cover art and tell me that doesn't look like Crazy McCormick. Crazy, why didn't you tell us you were in a movie? Come on, man. I thought we were friends. Get at me, bro.
For sure. But this is Murder Party. This came out 2017.
This came out in 2007?
17, I believe.
What?
I could be wrong. I'm wrong often, so ignore me. But the movie starts out with the main character here on the front. He is a parking attendant, police officer, technically. He just gives people tickets. He just gives people tickets
and ruins their day.
Yeah, and ruins their day. But it starts off with him coming home from work. He gets like a bowl of candy corn, which is really gross.
Literally, I was watching that scene. I'm like, who just sits there and eats candy corn? Then I'm like, oh wait, that's me.
I missed the biggest part though, I missed the most important part, which is on his way home. He's outside and wind blows this weird black invitation to his feet for a Halloween party called a murder party, and it has an address and stuff. And he picks it up, he looks at it, he brings it home with him. He goes home, he gets the bowl of candy corn, he sits down to watch a horror movie, and he starts having an argument with his cat.
The cat is the best character in the movie.
And he decides he's gonna go to this murder party. And the thing I love about this movie more than anything is like the red herrings. So he goes into his closet, he gets a box out that says Halloween costumes. He pulls out this weird troll head looking costume, puts it on the ground, and then proceeds to cut up the box and make a night costume out of the box for his costume. And then he leaves the house. He says some shit to the cat, and then he goes to this murder party, which is this weird warehouse, just like in the middle of nowhere, in like a bad part of town. And
we all go to parties in warehouses. Come on,
right? And he brings this pumpkin bread with him for
handmade pumpkin bread that he made out of a smashed pumpkin on his doorstep.
Right. So
don't forget the raisins.
Yeah, he makes this pumpkin bread with raisins that he takes to the murder party. And when he gets there, there's a bunch of people in costumes. You can see some of them here. There's a cheerleader. There was a vampire. I should know the reference for her, but I don't. I want to say it's
Ziggy Stardust, just really bad.
I guess. Anybody who's watching this, please leave in the comments who it is. I was gonna say something from Mad Max, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. There's a guy with a werewolf costume that I don't want to show you right now because it's gonna give away some of the others. I could use this scene. There's a guy with a werewolf costume, and there's a guy in a Baseball Furies costume.
From the Warriors.
Very similar to the Warriors, Baseball Furies.
Warriors.
Fucking love that movie, man.
He gets there and there's plastic on the floor, and essentially they're there to kill him. And they knock him out and tie him up. There's a weird the werewolf guy runs at him with a chainsaw and actually gets it like caught on a chain, and it doesn't it just hangs there.
No,
he doesn't get
Bartle. These are your movies, and I got the fact. It was an axe. At first.
Was it an axe? I thought it was a chainsaw. It was
an axe at first, and then he had the electric chainsaw the rest of the movie.
All right, so it might have been an axe. My bad. Again, it's been a couple days since I've seen this. When he comes at him with the axe and gets it caught on this hanging light, and it's kind of how the movie goes.
That light wasn't there before.
Yeah, honestly. And so he's tied up in the chair, and all of a sudden, Does the girl eat the pumpkin bread first, or does the vinegar thing happen first?
The vinegar is after the pumpkin bread.
Okay.
What happens to her happens to her first.
So the cheerleader girl is eating this pumpkin bread that he brought, and then she says something along the lines of, are there raisins in this? And
he's organic.
He's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I'm allergic to raisins. And everybody's panicking and freaking out. She's like, it's okay. I just get kind of dizzy. I'll be fine. And she goes and she sits down and then instantly keels over and hits her head really hard on some metal. And then she sits back.
Killed by a freaking pipe.
Right. She sits back up on the chair like she's fine. And blood is spurting out of the side of her head. And then she's looks at the
instantly camera, back on the ground.
Yeah, just falls over dead. And so they wrap her up in the plastic and hide her in a chest freezer. And then this guy, the werewolf guy, loses his mind and he grabs this thing, what he thinks is acid, and starts pouring it all over the guy. And they're all waiting, they're all watching and a little scared, but not really. And he's flipping out, pouring this acid on him. And then he's freaking out, I can't believe I did that. And running and hiding and freaking out. And it turns out it's just vinegar. Really funny scene. Oh, I should also mention, these guys, it's kind of set up that all these guys, they're doing this thing as an art project type thing.
To win a grant.
To get into art college.
$30,000 or something like that.
To win a grant from this guy who is introduced shortly afterward. Don't remember his name. But he
started with a V and he's a douche.
Yeah, he's a big tool. And he comes with this other guy who's this drug dealer.
The fucking Russian drug dealer, dude. I fucking love him.
Right. And he's kind of plays everybody against each other. He's really a dick to the guy in the vampire costume, makes him actually take it off.
He's a real dick to the guy in the vampire costume.
When he's all now take off your pants. Take off your vampire pants.
Yeah.
He was dressed as a vampire too.
But yeah, he comes in, and you get more about this Grant that he's pinning people against each other, and then they cut to a scene where they decide that they're gonna do some drugs, and they end up actually doing extreme truth or dare with truth serum. So there's this great scene where they're all sitting around eating food and doing this extreme truth or dare with the truth serum, which they also inject the guy that's kidnapped. And you get like all these.
Question: why did the drug dealer dude inject the crust of the pizza?
It wasn't the drug dealer guy. It was the jerk. It was the other guy. It's the main guy here, because he wanted it to look like he injected himself, but he didn't want to inject himself.
Oh,
So he made it like where he injects it in the crust of the pizza. The drug dealer actually takes a pill which does the same thing as the needles. So they're telling truths and stuff, and fuck, what happens next?
The werewolf just constantly confessing his love to
the girl.
Yeah.
I forget what happens next though that causes. Do you guys remember?
The guy in the baseball outfit was talking about how he didn't want to be there at first, and then they told him that he was going to get kicked out of the group or something, and that was the big shift. Right. I think
there's a part in the movie where the main bad guy, the jerky guy, kind of like he gets in an argument with his other the vampire guy who he's like fighting with, because he brings his assistant for some goddamn reason. He calls his assistant to come help him get a picture of the bad guy. So they're arguing, and he ends up injecting this guy with the truth serum, and then asks him if the Grant is real or not. And he's like, no, the Grant's not real. I'm just some guy, a fry cook at like some burger place.
He was like, I was just trying to murder you all and just
take credit. Yeah. And then chaos ensues. Essentially, the werewolf guy's been drinking the whole time. He goes outside to smoke and lights himself on fire. Absolutely lights himself on fire. And that's what that's what distracts this guy.
You haven't talked about the best character in this movie, though. The dog.
Right. There's a dog that belongs to the drug dealer, I guess. Not really main part of the movie, but it's a little bit.
The Red Baron. They kept on looking like they were going to kill off the dog, and it kept on not fucking happening.
Right. I also missed the part where he somehow breaks free for a moment. He's running around the thing, and he goes into the closet, and he like there's all kinds of weapons and shit, and he starts collecting all this stuff, and then he just runs out and just like throws it and runs away. That's one of my favorite parts of the movie. But anyway, they're arguing. The guy catches on fire. They end up dragging him in. They're trying to put him out. And the bad guy here gets injected, starts telling the truth about stuff. Everybody starts killing each other, pretty much. The dog bites off the main guy's face.
After doing drugs.
The Wolfman comes to life and has the weird wolf mask melted to his face. The Baseball Fury guy puts down his PSP that he's playing like the whole game, the whole movie, and just starts like killing people. It's like, yeah, it's a really like at one moment everybody's killing each other kind of thing.
Can we take a minute to talk about how good the makeup work is on that though?
Oh yeah, it's fucking good. For how like lowbrow and like half cheesy the movie is. I'm very surprised at some.
I swear they put like most of their budget just in that makeup. It's so good.
For sure. Anyway, so as chaos ensues, the main character gets away, and he's running, and then the Baseball Fury guy is chasing him, and then you find out the Wolfman guy is chasing both of them with this chainsaw on an extremely long extension cord for some reason.
And he keeps on getting the replug in different spots.
And they end up running across some roofs and ends up in this like pretentious art party of this other guy that they know for some reason. And he's hiding in the party, and he ends up going to this weird art exhibit with all these like painted up naked women, and he's hiding. And then the baseball fury guy comes in and starts murdering everyone. He's like, screw it, I'm gonna kill everyone.
Screw this scene.
And he just starts murdering everyone in the room except for the main character, which is kind of weird. And then the minute he goes to kill the main character, the wolf man is on the roof. He trips over his extension cord, falls off the roof. The chainsaw is dangling there. The main character grabs the chainsaw, turns, and he kills the baseball fury guy. And then the movie just kind of wraps up with him riding home on the subway, all covered in blood, sitting down with his candy corn, finishing his movie. And yeah, that's
Weird.
Murder Party.
Weird shit. Yeah.
Again, we could never do
fucking
justice to
love
this
that
movie. Yeah, we're never going to do justice this one. You need to go see it. I know we mixed up some parts. We talked about some parts before other parts. We skipped some like minor details, some stuff that might not be YouTube appropriate. But go watch both of these movies.
Definitely.
Now, I think it would only be right if in both these movies we picked out our absolute favorite part of the movie.
Can we take the great makeup off the screen, please?
Yes, Crazy Dog is goodbye. Let's start with Frankenhooker.
Well, I think it's only fair to say Super Crack because, like, come on. There was so much, like, effect-wise and everything was in the Super Crack scene. It's amazing.
I'm split between the Super Crack scene, which is probably closer to being my favorite, and the ending with the Cronenberg shit. Like, that was great, and the big reveal at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. I guess I'm gonna. Those are my favorites as well. So I'm gonna just throw out another part in the movie that is totally out of left field and I love, and that's when he's drilling into his own head. Like, it's cheesy horror at its best, and how could you not love it? Okay, so Murder Party.
Murder Party. Honestly,
the
vinegar scene. I love the vinegar scene. It's so
the vinegar thing. What about you, Kiefer?
The face reveal for after your dude gets burned.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's like peeling the mask off and shit, and it's just fucking stuck.
Yeah, my favorite part, like I said before, is when the cheerleader girl just sits there. She's like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm just get a little dizzy." Falls over and cracks her head open, and then sits back up like everything's fine. Oh my goodness, that's my favorite.
Like I said to you earlier, head damage in that movie is like nothing. So many people get clocked in the head by something, and they all just stand there like, "What? What am I supposed to do here?"
Right. The only thing I will say about Murder Party is there was a weird CGI moment where the dog bites off the guy's like face, and it looks really badly done in CGI.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
But that's the only down I gotta give these movies. Go watch them both if you haven't. Also, leave in the comments down below if there's a movie you think we should watch, or one that you guys love a lot. Or if you've seen these movies, let us know what your favorite parts are. We'd love to see that. And we want to keep doing this, so we're going to try to do this on a weekly basis, hopefully. Maybe bi-weekly, we'll see. But I got to thank you all again for watching. If you like what we're doing here, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell if you don't want to miss anything. Of course, we will be live again Tuesday and Thursday every week. So thank you for watching, and stay safe, stay happy, stay the fuck away from hate.
And the high guy is holding us hostage. Save us.
And the high guy is watching. Whoop, whoop.
Whoa.
Whoop, whoop.